Morning, A class. This is your video for the 18th of March. Putting this thing in the messages so that people can start up and know exactly what they should be doing today and checking this thing out. So it's cool. I know there's always some confusion when you send in a video like this, and obviously this whole like online learning thing is something new and different for everybody. So we're all kind of doing our best, and I get that. Um, Here's the plan. I'm going to talk about the sonnet that's due next week. Then I'm going to talk about the analysis that's happening on Friday. And then I'm going to tell you how I think you should be using your 45-minute lesson today, right, on what's going on. Hey, so we got a sonnet. And this is the first one. And the reason why I'm starting with it is because this is next week. It's the low priority task. We're not worried about as much about this one. Next week, we're going to be starting a new unit, and I'll give you more details on that next week. It's a bit of a surprise because it's we got the coronavirus. That's how it goes. So we're open to this. But you got a sonnet that's due. My main thing is getting people to develop an appreciation for Shakespeare. You got to fit the rhyme scheme and the beats. Those of you that submitted a rough draft, I gave you feedback for it. You can write it back in there. Hey, that was kind of the opportunity to get feedback. If you want me to check something else out, then send me an email and I'll take a look at it. However, if you didn't submit a rough draft, like it's gonna be kind of hard for me to like, okay, I'll grade you, 2 weeks late. That's probably not gonna happen. But for those of you that did, you got some feedback, and I'm happy to take a look at other stuff. So that's cool. But yeah, I'd like to see a final draft on a sonnet put in that Dropbox by next week. It's on ManageBack if you want more details than that. Read that before you send me some questions. As far as the analysis goes on Friday, this is kind of, if you guys don't understand the expectations, you don't understand what's going on, please email me ahead of time. This is something like I'm going to give you the question in the morning at 9 a.m. and you're going to write an essay from it. You're going to write you're going to have a couple hours to do this, and you're going to submit it in the Dropbox there. It's going to be kind of like a test where it's there. Feel free to use resources. You can ask questions, go back and forth to each other. It's an opinion though, so it's kind of hard to like cheat, you know. And so I'm not really concerned about that. Plus, you guys are cool like that, anyways. And the main thing is that I want to see in that essay that you get that first paragraph right, and then in the following paragraphs you're using quotes from the text to support your opinion, right? You're getting those things in there. So you have it. You have words from Act 2, Scene 2 that show your opinion well. Yeah, so that's what's happening. I asked yesterday for you to give a try at that first paragraph to see if you got the structure right. Some of you took advantage of that and sent me an email with the paragraph, and that was really cool. I gave you feedback on that and let you know if you were right and a lot of you, I was like, very good. This one thing you could change, and then you'd get a better score. And so I hope you read my comment coming back at you. Uh, most of you, it was something really small, but it'll probably increase your grade by like a point or two. So it's cool that you did that. Other people, I just wrote back like, you nailed it, perfect, no problem. So do a very similar thing tomorrow when you're answering my serious question. It's pretty easy to say where would you want to go in the world, but the question tomorrow is going to be more about Shakespeare. So you're going to have to know your stuff there, which means you got to understand Act 2, Scene 2. You got to know some of the details, some of the language, and you got to be able to quote it and use it in your essay. So it's there. I didn't hear from some of you. Some of you guys just, wrote a couple silly things and didn't submit. And it doesn't hurt my feelings so much, but little worried about you. I would say, if yeah, good luck. Feel free to ask me questions, And I still think you're cool. I still think you can do all right. But please let me know if you don't understand the summative task that's happening on Friday. That's very important for you to understand, right? So yeah, the final thing I'm going to talk about, right, is what you should use your 45 minutes for today. And I'm trying to get you guys like prepared for this thing on Friday as best as possible. So in this 45 minutes, I would say uh, reading that Act Two, Scene Two, taking some notes on it is a really good idea. But because I know the question I'm going to ask you guys, this one I'm hoping kind of gets you thinking about it a little bit. And it would be really cool if you had a little bit of a discussion on the Teams chat face that chat face the but yeah, if you had a conversation on the Teams chat and you answered two questions for me, right? And put it on there. And this one's got to be public. I know some people wanted their paragraph sent to me and they didn't want anybody else to see it. That's fine. But this one, I kind of want it to be a conversation. I want you to say your opinion. Can't do a discussion quiz, but this is the closest I can get. And there's two parts to this question, right? Two questions here. Post your answer on the chat. Shouldn't be more than a few sentences long. What I'd like to see you do is post your answer and then also comment on somebody else's, like either with a thumbs up or like a thumbs down if you disagree, or add something to it if you're like yes, but you can throw something in there. So your two questions I want to see on that are one, what do people learn when they're reading Shakespeare compared to a different book? How is this? What more do you learn? What's going on there? What other skills, whether it's like, well, I'm not even going to say any examples because I want you guys to come up with it. But like compared to reading like a Harry Potter book or something there, what does Shakespeare give you that's new learning and different? And the second one is, you think Shakespeare should still be taught in schools? It's things like super old, like 500 years or whatever. I guess my question to you is like, is it still worthwhile? Are there things that you're like, yeah, get some skills out of this, or is it something that you're like, no, let's do something else and move on? Obviously, English class is always still going to happen. People are always going to be reading stuff. People are always going to be checking things out. Do you think Shakespeare should be a part of that? Give me your opinion. Put it in the group chat. So, 45-minute lesson today. Love to see you respond to those questions in the group chat. Make sure you're still reading Scene 2, Act 2, and taking some notes on there so you know the parts that you can comment on and quickly. I mean, you got 2 hours to write an essay. That's not a very long time. But if you've taken notes and you know where good quotes are to support it, then should be good. And I tell you what, if you got a lot of notes on that paper, if you take some photos of your notes all over Scene 2, Act 2, throw those pictures in the Dropbox when you submit the essay, and I'll look at it, and I might be able to give you a few more points from the analysis if you got it in there. So that might help you out a lot. So yeah, that could be there too. And then if you're like, man, already did that, ready for this analysis, write your things in, and you've already written your answers to the questions I just gave you now, then I would say the last thing you can do is work on that sonnet that's due next week. I just checked the Dropbox now and nobody's submitted yet, so which I don't expect you to. It's fine, but you could throw something in there and then you'll be ahead of everybody. And cool, you'll have more time to wash your hands because we got a virus going on. So go out there and wash your hands. Make sure you're clean, right? It's important these days. Miss you guys. Life is way more interesting with you guys in it. So be cool to one another. Wash your hands.